Welcome to Talmudic Treasures. Today we're learning Kiddushin, page 24, which discusses when it comes to having an Eved Kanaini, this type of slave, the law is that if you would knock out his eye or blind him, or if you would hit his tooth and it falls out, in that situation the law is that he will go free. You're not allowed to just abuse an Eved. Even though slavery, fortunately, has been abolished for many years in this country, the fact that the Torah talks about the ownership of slaves, as we mentioned before, does not give you a right to physically harm them. And therefore, it's warning the owners that you have to be respectful to them. Even if you feel that they're doing something wrong, there are other methods of how to deal with it. You don't hit your Eved. You don't hit a slave. But rather you show them respect. Now, why does it only mention a tooth and an eye? So the reality is, it's not just if you harm a tooth and an eye. If you hurt any 24 limbs, in which we're going to see on another page which they are, which includes the fingers or the toes, so that's 20, and then there's 4 others. So if you hit someone and you cause severe damage, or they fall off because of it, it has to be amputated because of it, they're going to go free. So just like a tooth and an eye, so it has to be a situation where it's something which is out in the open and it's a severe damage that cannot be repaired. So too when it comes to these 24. By the way, it's fascinating that we learn and we're introduced to these 24 limbs on page 24 on this page. Exactly. Now, the Talmud wonders, what if you're a doctor? You happen to be a doctor and you own a slave. And the slave has some problems with their eye, or they're having issues with their teeth, and you happen to be a dentist. So you say, you know what? I can examine your eye or look at your tooth, and upon doing that, I realize that we have to do a procedure. And the doctor, who happens to be the master, works really, really hard to make sure that his eye will get healed or that his teeth will be better. However, unfortunately, in the practice of him doing this procedure, he blinds him, or he causes his tooth to fall out. Now, the Torah explicitly says that a master who harms and causes this damage to his slave, that slave goes free. So what happens in this situation? So over here, there's actually a dispute. According to one opinion, they say the reality is you can laugh at this master, because even though he was your doctor or dentist, the reality is that he engaged in malpractice. He was not supposed to blind you. He was not supposed to knock out your tooth. And the fact that happens, the Torah says you go free. It doesn't matter what his intentions were. Even if his intentions were good, the reality is that you go free. However, there's another opinion that says no. It all depends on your intentions. We look at this situation on a case-by-case basis. Just because we see a tooth or an eye that's been damaged, we have to ask, why did it happen? Did it happen because he intended to harm his slave? Or he really had good intentions and just for whatever reason, something happened? And therefore, in this situation, maybe he would not go free. So it's an important concept to think about, is that we do see sometimes that it's not necessarily just what you do, but it's your intentions. We see this sometimes when a person does something wrong. The question is, do we just automatically assume, okay, the worst because you did something wrong? Or should we look a little bit deeper and understand, well, maybe there's a reason why this happened. Maybe this person had the best of intentions, and even though it turned out to be negative, maybe we shouldn't be so quick to think negatively about this person, and therefore, just like over here, we should possibly look on some level the other way and recognize that intentions matter.